It all started when we ran out of money, not the let's skip pizza this week kind of broke. The real kind. The kind where you open the fridge, hoping something magically appeared overnight, and all you see is mustard, a half-empty jar of pickles, and silence. No food, no plan. Just quiet judgment from the refrigerator. I stood there longer than I should have, staring inside like the answer might suddenly show up. It didn't, so I closed the fridge and leaned against the counter, listening to the apartment breathe. Old pipes, a ticking clock, the city outside. Everything sounded louder when you had nothing. I climbed onto the windowsill and looked down at the yard. Kids were playing soccer, shouting, laughing, kicking a ball that probably cost more than our entire weekly budget. They argued about goals, pushed each other, made up again in seconds. No fear, no deadlines, no rent. "Bro," Max said behind me. His voice was calm, but I knew that calm, it meant he'd already done the math in his head. "We either grow up or we get kicked out." "We are grown up," I replied without turning around. "Grown-ups pay rent," he said. Then something hit my hand. Keys. Car keys. Or rather the keys to his old Lanos, a car that only started if you treated it gently and believed in it like a religion. The kind of car that made sounds you didn't want to Google. Max had been my best friend since school. Same desk, same bad grades in math, same dreams of doing something big one day. Back then, one day felt infinite. Now it felt expensive. The difference between us was simple. Max acted. I thought he jumped first. I calculated the fall. Sometimes that balance saved us. Sometimes it slowed us down, but neither of us had made it far alone. That evening we went to the store just to look, because looking is free and hope is cheaper than food. We walked the aisles slowly, pretending we weren't hungry. Near the checkout, people grabbed coffee, hot dogs, sandwiches wrapped in paper, fast food for fast lives. I noticed something important. Some people counted coins. Some checked their bank apps. Some looked tired, stressed, empty, but everyone still bought something. "Look," I said quietly, "people can save on clothes, on phones, on entertainment, but not on food they need right now." Max squinted at me, the way he always did when I started connecting invisible dots. "So what, you want to open a restaurant?" "No," I said immediately. "Too expensive, too slow, too many rules. I'm talking small, simple sandwiches and coffee, fast, mobile, near a university or office buildings." He laughed. "Bro, we've already got wheels." He nodded toward the Lanos outside. "You planning to cook in the trunk?" "We'll figure it out," I said. "Simple menu, low costs, fast service, no bullshit." "And money?" he asked. "Where does that come from?" That was the real question. We had 2 pairs of hands, 1 dying car, 0 investments, and even less trust from anyone around us. No rich parents, no safety net, just time, and not much of it. "We start small," I said, after a pause. "Delivery. At first, we cook at night, deliver in the morning, offices, no rent, no location." Oh, Max didn't answer right away. He stared at the floor, then pulled out his phone and opened Notes. That was always his sign. When the Notes app came out, things got serious. "Okay," he said, "one rule. If this works, we don't fight over money." I nodded. "Deal." We shook hands. No contracts, no lawyers, just 2 bros and a bad financial situation. Sauce everywhere. The smoke alarm went off twice. Max wanted everything spicy. I wanted classic. We argued like idiots, then laughed, then argued again. At some point, we stopped caring about being tired or scared. "Even if we fail," Max said close to sunrise, chewing another test sandwich, "this will be the tastiest failure of my life." I was about to reply when my phone buzzed. A message from a girl I knew who worked in an office nearby. "If you can bring 20 sandwiches by 9:30, we'll take them coffee too." 1 AD. For a second, I just stared at the screen. Then I looked up. Max was already putting on his jacket. His eyes were wide, half smiling, half panicking. The look he always got right before something important happened. "Well, bro," he said, grabbing the keys, Looks like business has officially started. And for the first time in a long while, the silence in the fridge didn't feel like failure. It felt like the beginning. At 6:40 a.m., our kitchen looked like a crime scene. Crumbs everywhere. Sauce on the counter, on the floor, somehow on the wall. Empty coffee cups. Plastic containers stacked like a bad game of Tetris. And us standing in the middle of it all, half awake, half panicking. Axe moved fast. He jumped between the stove and the table, hands flying. Music playing quietly from his phone, like this was a normal morning. I stood with a notebook counting. 20 sandwiches said, exactly 20, not 21, not 19. Ego Axe replied, trust me. I don't trust anyone before 7 a.m. Granat. S your problem, bro. I checked the bag with coffee cups, then froze. Ida have change, I said. Max stopped. Looked at men, shrugged. We have charisma dosen, pay rent opens doors, he said confident sometimes. I wasn't convinced, but it was too late to argue. We packed everything into the Lonos. The car smelled like chicken, coffee and stress. Max turned the key. Uthi tried again. The engine coughed, complained, then finally came alive like it was doing us a favor. Axe said, belief. The first office building looked serious. Glass doors, security desk. People with coffee already in their hands, faces empty and focused. I suddenly felt underdressed, underskilled, under everything. We're delivery, I said to the security guard, trying to sound like someone who belonged here. He looked at the bat. Inside sandwiches and coffee. Ha! For hungry people, Max said behind me, smiling. A guard stared for a second and waved us through. Upstairs, 20 people gathered around the table like we were serving oxygen. They paid, some in cash, some by transfer. When the first payment hit Max's phone beep, I felt something click inside my chest. This was not an idea, not a plan, Unny. We walked back to the car lighter than we arrived. Smiled without noticing. Max said, Arisman? The second stop was where reality reminded us who was in charge. A Lono stalled in Trafiance, Weiss. By the time we arrived, we were 12 minutes late. We already ordered from the cafe downstairs, the manager said politely. Too politely. Sandwiches stayed in our bag in the car, Island's return. So Max said carefully, what do we do now? What stared at the ban at the street? We sell them. Ear the metri blinked. Syria. Yes. Max laughed. Bro, I love you. Stood near the metro exit like two guys, pretending this was plan. People rushed past. No one looked at us. Max went first. Morning, bro, he said to a random guy. Fresh sandwich. Ext one, another, time. En rejections in a ren, one guy stopped. UTUTCS in C. Chicken salad. Sauce, Max said. Then added, and hope. The guy's smile ought one. Then another person stopped. Another 25 minutes. The bag was empty. Looked at Mac. He looked at me. Did celebrate. We just breathed. That evening we counted money on the kitchen table. Wasn't much, but it was honest. And more importantly, it showed us something. Time was our biggest enemy. Everything depended on us being awake, fast, perfect. Need to simplify said, fewer items, clear process, and something extra. Axe Addy. Something people remember. He printed small stickers that naive paper. Bad printer, simple words. You got this. Rolled my eyes. Ooh. The next morning, a client texted. Oved the stickade my day. I didn't roll my eyes anymore. At afternoon phone rang. The landlord. Few die pay by Monday. Isouls, I'll need to move out. Monday was 3 days away. I hung up slowly. Axe looked at Mutt. He got 3 days, said he nodded once. No jokes. Smile. Okay, bro, he said. Then we work. At night I lay on the couch, muscles burning, brain refusing to shut down. I understood something for the first time. Business wasn't about idea. It was about endurance. We had just started running.